Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast here. We finally moved on to fall, and we got a lot of football that has been, going on in both college and in the NFL. And, hope y'all been staying safe out there. Hope y'all been spending time with your families there and, staying blessed out there. But I wanted to talk about the whole situation with Tua and the whole, controversy that's been going on around, his injuries the last couple of days here. And I watched I watched both tapes of his first injury against the Buffalo Bills, and then in that Thursday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm here to tell you that this man should have never been playing in the first place. The man should have been he should have sat out after the first hit against Buffalo for at least a good minimum of 3 or 4 weeks before he was able to be cleared to come back and play. Because let me tell you something, before I did this video, I wanted to watch both of those incidents to really get an understanding about what really happened here. The first time, he was running out of a blitz, threw the ball away, and got shoved to the ground, and the back of his head landed on the turf. And for some people that don't play football, you would think that's pretty much a lighthearted injury, but it's not, because when you are being pushed to the ground, basically the whiplash effect, you know, lands on your head. It feels like somebody knocked you out. And the way that Tua was landing on the back of his head, it looked real ugly. And then when he tried to get up, he was pretty much wobbly and almost collapsed to the ground again and was pretty much forced to come out of the game. At that point in time, Tua should have not been playing. He should have been, resting. He should have been medically evaluated, for what type of concussion that would have been. And yes, it was a concussion. I don't care what anyone else says. But then they pretty much cleared him, right? Stupidly, they cleared him. Then 4 days later, you put him in there against the Cincinnati Bengals. They get crushed, and then he ends up getting another concussive hit when his head hit the turf. All right, listen. I know that AstroTurf has been renovated over the past decade, but I'm gonna tell you something. That AstroTurf is still hard surface. It's not like artificial grass, and I don't understand why many of these stadiums continue to play with this stupid like AstroTurf. You're just better off using all natural grass. I mean, as your playing surface. But I digress. The reason why I'm talking about this video is because this continues once again why the NFL does not give 2 cents about its players. And they just throw them out there to get their brains battered. And literally, they get their brains battered. And now they may not be able to recover from these kind of injuries. Tua should have never been playing in the first place. And the neurologist that cleared him, before I did the video, I heard that he got fired. The man should have had his license revoked and should never even be doing any type of medical things ever again. And I was reading a different type of articles, to get a grasp of the opinion is there's a good majority of people that pretty much say that they can't evaluate through tape, but a lot of them pretty much said that, that Tua should have never been playing. Christopher Nowinski, who's the one of the top professions when it comes to studying CTE and brain traumatic injury, pretty much went off on social media when he pretty much said, and quote, uh, when he pretty much said on Thursday, if he had a second concussion that destroys his season or career, everyone involved will be sued and should lose their jobs. And then he doubled down on it after watching the injury. He pretty much said, I predicted this and I hate that I am right. 2 concussions in 5 days can kill someone. This can end careers. How are we so stupid in 2022? End quote. And to that, I agree with him 100%. How can any medical, you know, personnel in any organization allow this man to pretty much get himself killed neurologically, pretty much left him out there to pretty much get his brains battered again? Listen, I played, high school sports. I didn't play football, thankfully, but I did play basketball, where we do get our share of concussive hits with, elbows to the face, when we or undercut while we're trying to go in the air. And sometimes we land our heads onto the ground and stuff like that. Those kind of hits. The moment that you see that a good trainer sees that you pretty much you're wobbly and you're pretty much showing signs of a concussion, you're pretty much automatically out, and you're going to be evaluated for what type of concussion it is. And typically, it takes about at least 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how severe the concussion is. And you won't even be allowed to run. You won't even be allowed to look at lighting. You have to pretty much, wear glasses, pretty much take the right amount of ibuprofen and, the right amount of liquids to try to help the healing process, because a concussion is not like a broken bone. It's not like a cut on your skin. It's pretty much a neurological injury that, it could heal. It takes its time healing. You just never know when it's going to heal. And I've seen many incidents, even in high school football, where a trainer will see the injury and won't even allow the kids to come back out there and play again to risk even further injury. But again, we know how much the NFL does not care about its players. I mean, they tried their hardest for decades to fight against the CTE issue. I mean, you just go look at the documentaries. I don't have to repeat it right here on this video here. But literally, if this were any other kid, what I mean? When I become a father, there's a great chance I will not let my son play, football, because the risk and reward is not worth it. And when you look at a lot of these situations, when you read a lot of the stories that have been passed down historically over the years of players taking, very bad head injuries and not receiving any medical help, benefits, disability benefits, compensation for the injuries that they suffered in the football field, you ask yourself, is this all worth it to play football? And again, this continues once again that the NFL does not give 2 cents of its players. They only care about its profit. And the Miami Dolphins as an organization should have been fined heavily, and the medical staff needs to be, fired, reevaluated. You need to bring in new people. I don't care what it takes to make sure that this kind of situation like that never happens again. And the fact that this happened in a span of 4 days, you think about it. He got hit after he got shoved and hit it, and basically got a whiplash effect against the Bills on that Sunday. Then you fast forward 4 days later on a Thursday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then you take another second concussive hit in the span of 4 to 5 days. What in the hell is anybody thinking of letting this young man, get himself battered once again in a game of football? It literally makes no sense to me whatsoever. And it just continues once again why there's going to be more and more people that will stray away from the game of football. And the question comes now, Tom, is, how is the NFL going to try to, avoid this once again? Because I will give them some credit. They've done at least a better job of trying to, figure out ways to, help these players, avoid those situations. They pretty much altered, the way that, defensive players have to hit, against offensive players. There is some good things they've done, but again, they pretty much had to do it because either Congress was going to make them do it, or it's going to pretty much, put them at the breaking point of where people may not want to watch these games anymore, which I never believed anyway. But there's some people that felt that way. But my overall point is, Tua, I don't know where his career is going to be at this point. I think, honestly, after enduring this level of injury like that, I would have been so mad to the point where I would never come back to play football ever again. I would have just retired right then and there, because the organization as a whole showed absolute negligence in protecting this kid, and you let them out there to get himself battered. You don't even now his career may be shortened because of these concussive hits. And now the bigger concern is, as he gets older, how these hits are going to affect him neurologically as he gets older. We have to keep that in mind. So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be popping right out the gate about this whole situation. And it's a very unfortunate situation. But as for Tua, I hope he, gets all the medical help that he needs, and he recovers, very quickly. And, at the end of the day, this is the consequences of playing football. And the NFL continues to show once again why they don't give 2 cents of its players. But that's just my 2 cents of the whole situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.